Understood. Cross-examination.
Ms. Blaisdell, when did you move into Wilson's Way?
I would be beginning of August.
October 1st?
August.
Oh, I'm sorry, August. Sorry about that. August 1st. Where did you previously live?
I lived in, Lakeview,
Was that in a mobile home?
correct.
Okay. And at times, didn't Jeffrey live there with you?
Never lived
You never lived there?
there. Never lived there. No milk in there, no interest, no nothing.
Now,
When he was homeless, I got out of jail, smacked me through it. He never lived there.
Ma'am, you answered the question.
Yeah, he did not.
You're claiming that you and Jeff were just friends.
Yes.
And previously to this, have you and Jeff had sexual relations?
We did not.
You never had sexual
We
relations
did
with
not.
Jeff? Isn't it true that you're in 14 Visas report on numerous cases of domestic violence involving you and Jeff?
Domestic violence.
Yeah,
No,
against you by Jeff, because you were partners.
we were never, absolutely not. There's never been a domestic violence.
In 14B, you've never had domestic violence between you and Jeffrey?
No, no.
Any other court in this
Go to
country?
the court that was where everything happened, it was actually here at this court, where it was when he slapped me. Previously.
And it's,
It's not a domestic violence, that would have been a, what do you call it, assault and battery, not a domestic violence.
okay,
He
so,
did not live with me, we were not partners,
and you
to make
were
it clear.
lived in roommates?
No, only with his mother, but that wasn't really roommates, I was a caretaker to his mother.
And you're sure about that mobile home? You never lived?
There was no clothes there,
Okay,
there was a bag.
fine, fair enough.
Okay,
On August 4th, you couldn't attend the hearing here. We had a hearing scheduled for October 4th. And a deputy Mace went to your home. You showed him a document. What was that document that you showed him that you couldn't attend court?
August 4th.
No, October 4th.
October 4th, I had COVID, I tested positive for COVID,
And is
and that was
that,
from the hospital.
had you just been released from the hospital?
Mhm.
And
He
is
said yes.
Yes, I'm
and
sorry,
is
yes,
that the document you showed Officer Mace?
yes.
And what was that?
Actually, Marshall is the one that showed, detective, because I was on the couch, just sitting. So I had the documents.
And you have a copy of that?
Yes,
Would you provide that?
I don't have it with me,
No.
but I do.
Hold on, let me just finish. Would you, at a later date, provide us a copy of that release?
Most certainly.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna object, I'm not sure why we need that.
Well, because it was made part of the testimony prior, Your Honor, when the officer said he meant and
Well, that's
everything.
because you challenged, Mr. Killen. What does that have to do with anything in this case?
Because it's my allegation, Your Honor, that it was not from COVID, that it was that she was in the hospital from a previous assault matter with someone else. So I'm asking to see that document.
On October 4th,
Yes.
this sexual assault occurred
I
on
didn't say-
August 21st. So whether she was assaulted by someone in October is not relevant.
It is, Your Honor, when she's claiming that she had COVID. Now, I'm not.
But why, but to these events that she's testified to, why is that relevant?
Judge, it goes to her credibility. She couldn't have come here to court that day. She said it was because COVID. All I'm asking for is to see the release document that says that she had COVID.
Trying to figure out why that's relevant to anything in
It
this
goes
case.
to her credibility, Your Honor. That's what she
That
told-
she had COVID?
No, that she showed a document that stated she had COVID. She showed it to the officers. This court heard the testimony from Officer Mace, who said she couldn't come that day. I'm just asking.
Because she couldn't, the issue in that was she couldn't be here that day because she had COVID.
Correct.
The testimony of the officer was that when he got there, they showed him a document that indicated she had COVID.
Correct. You know, I'm
So what does that have to do with anything else in this case other than why she wasn't there that day?
It goes to her credibility, Your Honor.
Credibility of what?
Whether that was document.
The deputy's a liar too?
I didn't say the deputy.
The deputy said he saw it.
Asking for is a confirmation of that.
Confirmation of which part?
The document that shows she was released from the hospital for COVID and that she couldn't be here that day. We believe otherwise, that she was in the
Okay,
hospital
so
for
let's
something
say,
else.
Mr. Kilowald, that she could have been there this day. That the deputy got up, told me something, I'm completely fooled, and she's here now. What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, I guess I'm not making my point. The officer represented that she represented a document that says it was a hospital release for COVID.
Correct.
COVID. All I'm asking is for verification of that, Your Honor. It goes to her credibility.
I'm not clear I understand what. Because Prequel, she was in the hospital for some other reason. There were plenty of people that were in the hospital for other reasons and also had COVID. So I don't know what the COVID thing has to do with it. That's what the problem is. If your issue is, or your point is that she was in the hospital because of something else, then I'd suggest you get right to it and just ask her.
Were you in the hospital for COVID?
I was in the hospital for COVID,
And it was not for
and I was quarantined for 10 days.
and it
That's
was
why I did not show, to make this quite clear.
and it was not for any other type of physical assault.
No.
Well, I'm gonna object, even if she was assaulted in October.
Okay,
It's not relevant.
But I just need to get past this. It isn't relevant. I agree. But if he's saying that she's in the hospital for something else, both can be true. It doesn't mean that she lied about having COVID. I mean, let's move on. We're dealing with events in August.
Perjury?
You tell me,
You will. Please make yourself a little more clear.
have you ever been convicted of a crime for dishonesty, shoplifting, stealing?
No, I've never been charged for crime of shoplifting or anything like that. My crimes have just been alcohol related in terms of right now, just the assault and battery, and that was it.
Okay.
No stealing, no city clears. I work for a living.
Okay. You were here on September 13th, correct? When Marshall testified,
Yes, I was.
and unfortunately, you didn't get to testify, but you were out in the hallway.
Correct.
Did you hear any of that testimony?
I heard nothing. I can hear minimal, but I can hear screaming from Jeffrey.
Did you ever discuss Marshall's testimony?
We're not allowed to.
Pardon me?
No, we're not allowed to. And we don't.
Are you still living in Bolson's Way?
The is because I'm going into treatment for the next 3 days, so I'll be not at it.
You're going into treatment for what?
Just because that's court ordered to get off of probation.
Are you an alcoholic?
So yeah,
You drink every day?
well, currently not right now. No, it doesn't have to be every day. It's not every day.
Okay. Do you do drugs?
I do not do drugs. I do not smoke marijuana. I do not do that. No, nothing.
You don't do crack?
I'm more than happy to do drug test and go back 6 months.
How long have you been in jail now?
I just said the 10 days that I was ordered from a violation of probation.
10 days before you went into jail, did you do any drugs that day?
No.
What is your drink of choice?
It's typically either Coors Light or sometimes I'll drink vodka.
Is it 5 p.m. vodka?
I'm
sorry.
or, heroin.
And do you have any outstanding warrants?
Well, no, I do not. They're all cleared up. And so this morning,
Did you make any deals with the prosecutor for your testimony today?
I most certainly did not.
Okay. When you moved into Bolson's Way, did you have your own bedroom?
No.
Where did you sleep at?
On the couch.
Okay. When you were living there, did you see drugs?
No.
Did you see crack pipes, drug paraphernalia?
No, I did not. That's more of a drink house. Cocktails, things like that.
Did you see Narcan, nasal spray?
The sniffy stuff?
Yeah,
No,
Narcan.
no, I didn't.
18th through the 21st. Did anybody OD in that apartment?
No. OD.
Oh, I mean,
What?
pass out from heroin.
No, absolutely not.
I should say pass out, overdose on heroin.
Absolutely not.
Where Jeff actually gave the person made the Narcan nasal spray.
Jeff, no, there was no, Jeff and heroin, you'd be on with the OD over heroin, but absolutely not, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay, now you testified that Jeff was sending you letters, correct? and that you were nothing but buddies, correct? And let me get this straight, on August 18th, he called you that night, correct?
Correct, yes.
And then he had just been released from the jail, correct?
Mhm.
And I know you just testified that he wanted to come over and apologize, but
Yes.
from the tone of your voice and the problems he's given you, why did you give him Marshall's address?
I don't hold grudges. If you want, I'm sorry, yeah, I mean, I can get past things, okay? It doesn't always have to be, this, that, and the other. I mean, most people do, I'm not a typical person. Let's hear what you gotta say.
Okay, so Jeff came over then, correct?
Correct.
He apologized to
He
you?
did,
Okay. And how long did he stay for?
he didn't stay, but maybe about an hour, and he stayed specifically on deck. We wouldn't let him come in, and then he started drinking a little more, and he started getting a little nastier, and so we asked him to leave.
He left.
And he-
Okay. On August 19th, did he return?
Yes, but the next day.
Yeah, what, do you remember what time he returned?
I honestly don't. It was daylight, obviously, so, I really can't give you time because
Okay. Here for the next 2 days?
the next 2 days, I don't know.
He didn't?
It was just that night. That was everything took
So he
place.
calls on the 18th, he stays for an hour, he leaves. Comes back the next day on the 19th, well, about 11, 12, 1. And then how long does he stay on the 19th?
I'm making sure we have dates right. I can't pinpoint it, but when he came the next day, that was it. That was when everything took place. From the sexual assault to the choking to the beating. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. I can't answer anything specific that you're gonna ask me because that's all I know on how these dates and events took place.
Ma'am, hold on, let me just explain, I'm not trying to trick you. The allegations for sexual assault, you're saying happened on the 21st.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, the dates, I can't get on to you specifically. I don't have a
All I'm asking you is he came back on the 19th.
that must.
You don't think he stayed there for several days?
He was not there for several days. He was there 3 days. Day 1, so he came in and apologized. Day 2 was when he came in with liquor and the crack cocaine, and then all through that whole night, that next day, at 4 or 5 in the morning, all sexual assault and everything took place. Third day, is he showed up again, and that's when he was tased, trying to get back into the house and get to me, which I locked myself in the house and watched things take place from there. Those are the 3 days he was there. Not
Okay,
protected, he was staying-
so again, I'm not trying to beat this to death. He shows up on the 19th at 11, and you say he stays into the morning of the 20th? Is that fair
I'm
enough?
gonna object to the line of questioning. The witness has said multiple times she doesn't know the specific
Well,
date.
she's making allegations that it doesn't make any sense what she's saying. Judge.
What doesn't make any sense?
Okay, he shows up on the 19th. All I'm asking is how long did he stay for on the 19th? You said he stayed into the following morning. Is that wrong or am I?
Well, hold on a second. Just don't answer yet. You're referring to dates, specific dates.
Yeah,
She is referencing things from when the assault occurred,
right.
but she's telling you she can't make out the date. So your question needs to be phrased certainly differently if you're asking her about a specific time frame. But it seems clear to me this witness has answered what happened using when the sexual assault occurred as a reference.
Did the sexual assault occur on the 21st?
I don't remember the names. You can't use the date.
Wait,
If it was the 20th, it was the 21st, because you come one day, 20th, that whole time frame, you're gonna pull it to after midnight, may still be the 20th, to me, okay, but it's 21st view. I get it. Again, I'm just giving
Fair
you
enough, fair enough.
each day of what happened.
While Jeffrey was there, were other people drinking and smoking and doing drugs?
People were drinking, people were smoking, whatever else you brought up. Yes, there were, that was happening.
Okay, now, and you're telling this court You admitted you're an alcoholic. Are you telling me those days you had nothing to drink?
I did not, I never said did not have anything to drink. When did I say that?
What were you drinking?
I believe it was black and beer.
Do you feel like you were intoxicated during that time?
8. I was not intoxicated. I was tired, and I was tired of being chased around by a crazy man.
And did you do any drugs that day?
No, I did not. I would be more than happy to say it again and again. On God, on my son.
Okay, when do you believe that Jeff was high on drugs and alcohol?
My son was facetious, but he always is. Because every
No, I'm talking about those specific days, ma'am. I don't want
because a personality change is when you can see it. And it's not anything.
Did you see him drinking and doing drugs?
Absolutely.
What drugs was he doing?
Crack. They were at the kitchen table. He had a big bottle of vodka, and the crack came out, and he's showing out lots of money to entice more people to get into his little game, so that he could hang out and stay. That was his plan.
Were you doing alcohol too?
What I just told you that I was drinking.
Now, when the police came to talk to you, you initially told the police that Jeff didn't rape you.
Right.
Okay. How much time lapsed between you then telling the police that Jeff did rape you?
15, 20 minutes. And that's because I was embarrassed, humiliated. I didn't want to go through the whole rape kit thing. It was too much. My friend, actually, Marshall, told them the truth and told them that there was more that I needed to tell them, and I did. While they were still there, taking the same report.
Okay, so you're saying that he didn't rape me. 15 minutes later, you said
I didn't say, I never just going to take, this is all, I told everything about the beatings, the hitting, the choking, everything else. He was held captive. I left out the rape part. I didn't say, but he didn't rape me. No. And then my friend said, had told Kathy Phillips that you have to talk to her again because he had raped her and she's too embarrassed to admit it. Clothes for his semen, and it also took the blanket that he used when he was on top of me.
And the police asked you to do a same rape kit, correct?
They did.
And you refused. Why?
Because I didn't want to go. Let me explain it. I am agoraphobic. I do not like leaving my home, no matter what the situation. It was this day. That's why they took the pants. They can check. It's right there for the semen test and everything.
I understand, but
Okay.
And again, this is no reflection on you, but is the reason why you didn't want the same kids because you had sex with someone else?
Heavens, no. That makes no sense. And I did not explain to you that I'm agoraphobic. I didn't want to go to the hospital. You don't know what agoraphobic is. If somebody does not like to leave their home, be around.
Now, you testified you were sleeping, correct? And you got up after a while, and then you came onto the couch.
Nope. I had chicken, I got and fell asleep on the couch. Yes.
Okay, and you're saying at this time Jeff woke you up,
Yes, he certainly did.
and this is the time when you testified that all these things happened to you?
It started there. It just immediately started like that. It started with cocaine and speaking, screaming at me and yelling and making accusations of sleeping with his best friend and all this stuff. And I'm just cussing back on him. But you're not my man. You're nobody to me. And if I want to sleep again, I'm good with Tom, Dick, and Harry. I will. But I'd only met the man once. But this, again, this is the kind of stuff that goes in his head. I know you're not going to want to hear that, but that's true. You only know what you're hearing.
And so you're saying it wasn't, and again, no disrespect, you're saying it wasn't consensual sex.
It was absolutely not consensual. Really? Consensual sex?
I just
Really?
asked you, ma'am, I just asked you.
Yeah.
And who was present, you're very delicate, but who was present when you were being raped?
Marshall.
Just Marshall.
Just Marshall.
And where was Marshall at?
Marshall was coming into the kitchen when he seen it. And he seen it firsthand. He seen it all.
Okay.
And I was embarrassed crying. And he already knew, he could see the look in my face and the crying.
Ma'am, let me finish. Did Marshall try to intervene and stop?
He doesn't have the strength, or he's 63 years old, okay? He had a bad leg, and he had a blood clots in his groin area.
Ma'am,
So
in
he
the
couldn't-
police report, you told the police that Jeffrey manhandled him when he.
See, I was asleep, I don't know about that.
No, ma'am, this This is the police report when they're talking to you. And in the initial police report, you said Jeff manhandled him, threw him down. Yet on the supplemental report, you then told the police that you were sleeping and that let me finish, that you never saw the tussle between Marshall and Jeffrey.
That is correct. No, I will correct that statement. No, I did not see the tussle. That was while I was
Okay,
sleeping.
so when you told the police that you saw everything, you were lying to them?
So, no, Marshall saw everything that was happening to me.
No, that's not what.
Listen, you see, I just told you. It was super. You see it, did I hear it? Yes, no. Again, I came out with the truth because I realized, oh my God, he's saying, you know, what he's saying, I'm saying, we're protecting ourselves because we both know we were injured and hurt. Okay?
Okay, so the police report where it says that you saw the tussle between Marshall, that.
You are correct.
I didn't even answer the
I
question.
already know what you're gonna ask.
That you didn't see it, but you just made it up to the police when you told the police that.
It wasn't made up, it did happen, but it was just me protecting him and him protecting me.
And during this, and again, at any time did Marshall try and call the police while he's seeing this rape going on, or try and get a neighbor or anything?
He couldn't find his phone. He could not find his phone. It was on Do Not Disturb.
Where?
It was on Do Not Disturb,
Oh, okay.
so he couldn't find his phone, or of course he would have. And that's again where Jeff was following Marshall all around anywhere he went into the apartment. He right into the
And is it fair to say that you were screaming? And again, this is
Absolutely, yes.
delicate.
Yes.
Were you screaming during this?
Well, I certainly wasn't giggling, but yes, I was screaming very loud enough so Marshall woke up and came out.
Okay, and my point being, ma'am, is you're in an apartment complex, and again, I'm not saying that the walls are paper thin, but nobody heard you screaming as far as you know? Nobody came?
No one.
And you're saying, it's your testimony that Jeff would not let you leave.
Correct.
Isn't it true during that day or two, you would leave occasionally with somebody else and go to the store and get something?
No,
You never left the apartment?
I did not. No, I did not leave the apartment.
Did you?
I don't leave the apartment.
Do you have a vehicle?
My boyfriend, my fiance, has a car. It's had parked, expired. No,
And you didn't have a vehicle?
I don't own a
Let me
vehicle.
finish. You didn't have a vehicle at Bolson's Way that day.
My fiance has a vehicle.
Where was your fiance during these 2 or 3 days?
He was doing his time
He was
for
doing what?
violation. He was doing time for violation of his probation.
Okay, but you had access to his vehicle.
Correct.
I'm upset you, but you never left the apartment that day with several individuals, either to go shopping or to go get something.
Correct. No, I did not.
Okay.
I don't understand what that has to do with him holding me hostage and just think I can just walk right out the door and leave.
Did you try and leave?
No, yes, I did. And then he did another hit. We had to pull the pictures up again to see what happened and we tried to leave.
Okay. Where was Marshall when you were trying to leave?
I wasn't trying to leave. I couldn't.
Where was
Every time I did it,
Marshall when you were trying to leave?
Getting sat down the same way. We couldn't even look at each other. He said, don't even give each other eye contact.
Okay, and is this the time when he's got the gun?
We didn't know where the gun was. The gun was there, but we did not know where it was.
Okay, the police report says that the BB gun, and you didn't know it was a BB gun, right? It was placed in the kitchen cabinet,
Correct?
all right?
Correct. Yep.
And so you never saw Jeff place it in the gun, correct?
I had no idea where the gun was. When I woke back up from my nap, 8, I don't know where the gun was. There was a lot of partying going on. I don't know what was what, where it was, or anything. I wasn't gonna ask to give him another reason to pull that out. You know, if he was drunk enough to forgot about it, so be it.
Okay, let me just ask you this. When you woke up from your nap in the bedroom, you said there's a lot of partying going on.
While I was sleeping.
Okay, how many people were there?
Well, if I'm sleeping, I can't tell you.
Well, when you woke up, how many? I'm trying to get a time frame. You woke up, and then at some point, Jeff you went on the couch. What time frame is that? And who's there?
I don't know if it was roughly maybe 6, 7 o'clock.
In the morning?
In the evening.
Okay, in the evening. All right. And so you wake up and then you go lay down on the couch?
Yes, I did.
And is that when the sexual starts happening?
It didn't start till later. I slept for a while on the couch.
Okay. If you know when you woke up.
It was Marshall, Lee, Jeff and myself.
Okay, so Lee's there. Lee's there, and was Lee present during the sexual assault?
No, because he would have done something about it. No, he was not.
When did?
Again, sexual assault people. Tiffany, Marshall, Jeff. That's it. Lee had already left. Insane, my God. Make it clear.
And at some point you told the police that you had given this gun to a neighbor to get rid of, correct?
When we found, the neighbor found it. Yes, because he said, oh, I seen it, and he put it up further.
Okay.
Because we.
May I ask you to tell the police that you gave the gun to a neighbor to get rid of it?
Not to get rid of it, to give it to him, and it wasn't a gun. He said, it's a BB gun, I'll take it. I said, get it out of the house.
Fair enough. At some point, you left the house.
Absolutely.
Okay. In the supplemental report, 3 days later, when the officers came back on the 24th, they found that same gun on your kitchen counter.
Because we got it back from the neighbor. They sure did, because we got it and put it there and called them to come get it.
You didn't try to sell it.
Why would we try to sell a BB gun? Why would I call the cops and say, yeah, we've got it, but you know, you want it for $20? Really?
Just asking.
That's a damn question.
That was a silly question. Sorry about that. Did you ever tell Jeff that any pornographic movies or anything of that type you were being taken advantage of by any of the individuals?
I'm gonna object, first of all.
Hold on.
Do not answer the question. I'm objecting on relevancy grounds, and what she said to Jeff is hearsay, if she said this crazy thing at all.
Okay, were any pornographic?
I'm going to
movies-
sustain that objection. Go ahead, you can
I ask if
rephrase.
any pornographic movies were taken of you during that time you lived in Bolson's Way?
No,
All right. Did you ever see Marshall? Do you know what a Speedo is?
I do.
Did you ever see Marshall walking around in a blue Speedo?
Lord help me, no. No.
Okay.
The man has a robe on all the time. He's not.
And does Marshall drink?
Marshall drinks on vacation. He's not enough excess.
Does Marshall always has a raspy voice?
Yes. He has, and actually well, I'm not even going to get to the dogs in the high school.
So do you know him personally?
Yes, I do.
And I'm probably going to butcher this last name, Mario.
Yeah.
And do you know a person? I assume this is a female name.
Yes.
Okay. Were any of those people at the apartment that night?
No.
When you moved into Bolson's Way, were you paying rent?
I actually paid his cable bill and his electric.
And how many bedrooms were in the apartment?
Again, there's one.
Just one. And while you stayed there, it's your testimony, you just slept on the couch.
Couch. That's correct.
Did Jeff ever spend the night, any night during those 3 or 4 days, did he spend any night overnight?
The night that he held me captive next to on the couch, that is when he spent the night unwelcome, if you will.
Okay. You know Jeff, did he believe he weighed, and again, this is speculative, but do you know if Jeff weighs 195 pounds? Just.
I don't know, and to be frank, I don't care.
Okay.
Honestly.
And again, ma'am, I guess if you answer this, I apologize. I know you were embarrassed, but why would you wait approximately 18 hours to call the police? Jeff left. Jeff had gone, correct? At some point, he left.
He didn't leave on his own, he was told to.
Okay, but he left.
He left.
And did he leave like around dinner time or before dinner time?
It was roughly maybe around 1 o'clock.
Okay, fair enough.
Whatever, I honestly don't know.
Okay, but you didn't call the police, or you or Marshall didn't call the police until
So that evening.
Till that evening. 11 o'clock is when the police got the call.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, and again, I can understand that you explained your trauma so thoroughly, and I gotta believe you're so mad. Why did you wait so long to call the police?
And I'm gonna object.
Sustained, asked and answered, and she's given a response each time.
Okay. And it's your testimony that not only did Jeff penetrate you with sexual intercourse, that he forced you to get involved.
That is correct.
And If you know, was he inebriated at this time? I mean, if you know him as a friend, could you tell he was inebriated at the time?
Wouldn't that be speculation?
No, it wouldn't be speculation. I mean, you can tell, I mean, you're a friend.
I'm no, that is no friend of mine, so let's get that first.
All right. One last question. At any time in those days, did Jeff ever come and give you any money, presents?
We have a ball for the dog.
And how about a T-shirt for you?
I don't recall a t-shirt, no, I don't recall a t-shirt.
Did he give you any money or buy food for everybody?
I believe he bought pizza that night. There were pizza, I do believe, yes. That's about the kind.
And you're saying he threatened your dog, correct? Or he actually threw your dog at you?
He did both, as you asked. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Bear with me 1 minute.
No problem. There is, and actually Marshall had one eye outside his door.
So would this have all been caught on tape, Jeffrey's appearance, coming and going?
Yes. Through AT&T, I believe, I don't know if they recorded, you have to talk to Marshall about that, and he can't answer how long the steps, or if there's, I don't know. I know it will be found anytime, so that.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
Just briefly, ma'am, to clarify, the police were called out on August 21st, 2022 at 10:59 p.m. The events that you described today occurred prior to that time, is that correct?
That is correct.
And reference Mr. Kilwell's last question about surveillance cameras in the complex and 4 meeting on Ross's Way. Are there 2 entrances to get into the actual apartment itself?
There's when you come to the door, like through the main, come down the stairs, they get buzzed in. And where you get like a little patio outside where it's got a slab glass door, which opens this way and it'll open the opposite way. When it opens the opposite way, as you're looking out, if you're standing in the living room, he has a camera to see if anything's coming up to the patio.
And do you think that might still be available from August if you know?
You can call Marshall and ask him. I can't call him because for obvious reasons, we got the number from the jail, you know. So I can't call him.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Anything else of this witness?
What did you get violated? I'm sorry. What are you in jail for?
I'm in jail for violation of probation.
And kind of how you violated your probation?
Because have you pled to a violation?
Yes, I was this morning actually, it's all done. All said and done.
Then, well, it might not be relevant.
Thanks,
I'm going to allow it.
What did you plead to today?
I pled to failure to go to a what do they call it, housing kind of housing you go to for what do they call that?
Rehab?
No, it's not rehab, no, it's for a housing here that's for like 6 months.
Transitional.
Thank you, transitional housing. I didn't sign up for it, so I was violated on that. So I did the 10 days.
And you pled to it today?
I pled to it today, yeah, did the 10 days as ordered.
What was the sentence?
Now, I said it was already clear, 10 days. I did it. So as of today was 10 days, went in front of Ms. Washington, or Judge Washington. Now I'm ordered to do 30 days and treatment, waive all my fines, fees, and everything, bless her heart.
And is your plan to move back into Rose's Way?
And my plan is to move out of Washington County, and I will not say where, for good reasons.
Fair enough, thank you.
Hold on just one second. Ms. Reiser, anything else from this witness?
No.
All right, ma'am, you may step down. Thank you. And once she's out, I'm going to take a very 5-10 minute recess.
Okay.
Judge, is there any way I can be in a room with my client? Is that at all
We can
possible?
put, if you want me to put you in a cell, that's fine. I mean, I don't know what you want. He's level 1. So he's level 1. That's not gonna happen that way.
I was wondering if I could go into another courtroom, if it's possible to show them.
To do what?
So they could put it on the screen. I could just talk to them in the courtroom, empty courtroom. I'm sure he's got some.
So okay. So you want to talk to him?
Judge, he's my client.
No, I know. I'm not saying, I'm trying to figure out, you want to talk to him now.
I would just like to see what he's obviously saying something. If I could have, if it's possible.
No. We can make, you just have to tell me what you want to
I would
do.
like 5 minutes with my client.
Okay.
If it's
Do you
possible.
have a device?
I have a phone.
Okay, that's a device. So if you sign on to my Zoom, I think to the conference room out there, we will gladly take Mr. Bloom out of this once you're in and put the two of you together in a breakout room.
I don't have, I usually know I know it's 1-4, I know it's 142-022, but.
Do you want?
As many times as you're here, you ought to have it saved.
Pardon me?
Do you want me just to send it to your email so you can click on it or no?
Can you just give it to me and I'll do it? Because if I have to do anything other than that, you'll never hear from me.
I'll write it down.
I'm almost as bad as
Make
my
sure to give
kids.
him the password because that's going to be a problem too. And so when he doesn't get in, then Miss Reiser will help him.
I'll help him. I know.
That's not fair.
I'm just saying.
Come on.
All right. Court's going to stand in recess. Miss Wilding, when he comes in, you can put him and Mr. Bloom
Yeah,
together.
I'll wait for him to.
All right.